My name is Brad Sweet.
My name is Matthew Sweet.
Okay, and you guys have this great Adventure Time layout here, so if you want to start by telling us about kind of the idea for this build?
So my son and I found Adventure Time, binge watching through Netflix, of course. So we fell in love with Land of Ooh and the idea that they've put out there, and it's going to be their last season this year. So with that coming up, I wanted to do something in Lego with the shows to, kind of honor that. It's going to be the last show, go out on top, One of the big things in, the Land of Ooh Adventure Time, Finn and Jake, the two main characters, live in a treehouse. So that was kind of like this big thing we wanted to build, and Lego came out with the idea set of all the, Princess Bubblegum, Finn and Jake, all the other characters. So they kind of needed somewhere to go. They've got the set. Let's give them a place where they live. So,
and from there, their idea came into. We talked about, do we make it with tan brick? Do we make it, how high, how big? Obviously, you don't want a mini scale version. Nothing fits, especially with the size of the characters. And so we took some pictures, which are kind of down at the bottom down here. Looked at a number of Minecraft people who'd done this kind of thing, obviously in Minecraft, but it fits well with Lego to see what they've done. And so from there, it really came down to constructing the base of the tree, realizing the whole inside had to be hollow or it was going to be 4,000 pounds. And so that was a creation in itself, thinking about length. And then as we got up in height, trying to think about how am I going to attach the tree foliage, and how do I make it thick enough so it doesn't all fall off. And so if I touched it here, it'd probably all fall off. And so we've actually been very lucky with, what's going on around us. It's really stayed together. And so it took a lot of hours to do it. Took a lot of brick, obviously. Took a lot of leaves. But I think the end result, between the house and all the characters and some of the foliage we've done, is actually really nice. So.
Yeah, I think it turned out great. And so if you can talk some more about kind of your leaf technique and how you got that to all stay together?
When we actually started out having the beams further out here, a little in here further, and down closer to the wall. And so we started hanging from the bottom, and we used a leaf and 1x1 round and stuck it to there. And then we made 3 or 4 layers of that. Then you came up another layer and hung that in front of it. And then this upper layer hangs a lot further down in front of the other layers to try to give it the thickness of the greenery. At the top, there's kind of a small roof slope, and we've attached those, and then the stuff on the very top is just kind of sitting there. But it gives the right effect, and it looks really nice. And we did the various things. We looked at the pictures, we got the eggs, we got the flag, we got the boat up there that are true to Adventure Time. So it was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, and I think it turned out great. Like you said, it got that really thick foliage effect. Was that like a pick-a-brick wall, or where'd you source all the leaves from?
Mostly Bricklink.
Okay.
It's, I would love to do some of the things with pick-a-brick, but there are only certain things on the wall at certain times. And we started this maybe back in November. And so it took, the full 3 months to get the parts and get the pieces, start the base, and then once you got it up high enough, then you had to go figure out, okay, where am I going to get all the foliage? And I bought probably half as much as I needed to start with. And then I go, ooh, that doesn't look very good. And so we came back and had to do some more foliage and whatnot. We wanted to do the roof in a darker blue, but there aren't enough pieces in the world at a reasonable price, like $3 for a little slope. I said, well, I think we'll go with traditional medium blue. So it still looks nice.
Yeah. And then when you move it into a show like this, is it all one piece, or how does that work?
No, it actually is split up. There's a section here that comes out. It's pinned. These 2 bridges come out, and then that's a section. The house this way comes out, and basically then this whole section's a piece. Okay. And when I take it home tonight, I'm sure half the leaves will fall off. But it's so it's not too bad, and it fits on a piece of wood that's underneath, a real thin sheet of plywood, so you slide that to give it the support.
Yeah, works well. And you guys have a couple more characters, I think, down here. If you can talk about these, some characters from the show here. I'm not real familiar with the show, so you have to introduce me to what these characters are.
So the first guy here is Finn. He's the main character, last human in Ooh. Okay. So he was one of the first attempts many months ago when we wanted to do something Adventure Time. So, you know, he's kind of blocky. He's not really finished, but he's where we first started with the whole Adventure Time theme. The little guy next to him is named BMO. He's the little robot that wanders around the treehouse with Finn and Jake. They use him to play video games. He's a little comedic relief to the show. Okay. So I think he's been one of my most favorite builds lately for how accurate he is to what he would be in the show. When I first built him and I picked him up, it was very surreal. Like, I'm holding BMO from the show in my hands right now. This is, wow. The guy next to him is Peppermint Butler. He's Princess Bubblegum's butler around the Candy Kingdom. He was built a few days ago, and so he started out with kind of a mosaic thought, and then kind of changed around from there.
So for the BMO character, then I do love your techniques. How'd you get kind of the nice smooth look all the way around there with no studs showing?
Uses the arch piece at the top, and then it's just tiled across the top.
Okay. Yeah. So you're able to get that nice smooth look then for all those cool characters. I think this turned out great. It looks like you've got kind of the book here. You used some of the stuff from that for inspiration.
Yep. That, and along with some of the the inspiration on the front of the table.
Yeah, there you go. So very, very cool stuff. Well, I appreciate you guys taking us through your Adventure Time builds here, and I think the kids have really enjoyed seeing them as they recognize the stuff from the show. So I think it turned out great. Thank you.
Thank you.